Life won't wait, my dear. Don't be late.
It is Tuesday, the 21st of June, and today is the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. And just as I press record, I noticed there were 4 very large pigeons very merrily pecking away on the lawn. And of course the doorbell's ringing. It was the window cleaners. They like to get involved whenever I'm vlogging or podcasting. They always seem to turn up at the moment I press record. Anyway, the windows are now clean. I'm sure you can see the difference of the quality of light that's shining through. It's the summer solstice today. In fact, hang on a minute, it is now 8 minutes past 10. And according to my almanac that I get every year, the summer solstice will fall... When does it say? The summer solstice falls at 10:13, so in about 5 minutes, the moment that the sun is directly overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, the northernmost latitude at which it can be directly overhead. The word solstice comes from the Latin solstitium, meaning sun stopping, and is related to the position of sunrise and sunset on the horizon. Both positions have been moving north day by day and will now pause for a while and then start to head south. So the daylight will start to slowly get shorter over the next few weeks, but primarily it starts to get shorter, according to the table in here, in the morning. So although I look forward to the nights drawing in a little bit, that's a long way off yet. We've still got many, many summer days and weeks ahead of us, but for me, the solstice, I love the solstices. I love the winter solstice and I love the summer solstice. They give a sort of sense of reaching a defined point in the year before steadily plodding on, a bit like a new moon. You're sort of at the beginning before you immediately start to, well, you never stop really, you just keep moving, but this kind of feels like the pinnacle before you move. I love that it means we're tipping towards autumn. Not wishing, I spoke a lot about my anxieties around summer and my summer low mood in my last vlog, but it still gives a sense of, it's the end of the school year, we've got summer adventures to look forward to, so there's that it presents. And despite my anxieties around the season, it does sort of give a little bit of excitement, and there's something magical and a bit spiritual about the solstices. And obviously in winter, the solstice is right before Christmas and the festive season, the colder months, cosy season. So I really, really like to try and observe them in some way. And I've got 3 minutes to stop talking and go and do what I want to do. So what I thought I wanted to do today is something that I want to continue in the coming year. So I figured it would be a kind of nice thing to be able to, at the point that the earth reaches that point before keeping going, to be doing something that I want to be taking forward with me in my life, which is something I've let drift a bit, which is drawing. So I've got my little basket here, sorry, it's not really a basket, it's got my sketchbook in it, my favourite pens and pencils and some watercolours and so on. And I won't be able to complete a drawing this morning because I've got too much to do, but I want to go and sit in the garden and just make a start. So that's what I'm going to spend the actual point of the summer solstice doing at 10:13, which is in 3 minutes. So I'm going to go get set up now. Take my little bag with me.
When the day is longer than the night, the road ahead is clear and in the light is clear. Don't be late, my dear. Life won't wait, my dear. Don't be late.
Sometimes you just got to bypass the healthy and go for a bacon bagel. We had some bacon that needed using up. I'm here. So it was calling to me. I'm now feeling in a very kind of spring cleaning, organising mode. So I've been doing tons of stuff that I've been putting off for ages, like admin stuff, getting stuff ready, emptying boxes, getting stuff ready for the charity shop, which I seem to do all the time. And I've got a ton of clothes here that were Lilia's, and some of them are brand new, that she grew out of, and I saved in case Phoebe would like them, but she has selected the bits she would like and has rejected the bits she doesn't. I've got another bag just over here. So I'm actually going to try out Vinted. I managed to sell a couple of things on Vinted recently and I quite liked the way it worked. So I'm going to take some photographs and list these on Vinted and see how I get on. But first I'm going to have my bagel. So I've been merrily photographing and listing things on Vinted, so we'll see how that goes. It doesn't cost anything, so if it doesn't go well, I'll just take it to the charity shop, so I won't lose anything. This is something I freestyle crocheted some time ago. I made both my girls on separate occasions a mermaid tail blanket. This is all made with acrylic yarn, so acrylic is obviously man-made and plastic, and I just made it up as I went along. I was really pleased with it, you know, the different designs, and it's really lovely, but it doesn't get used anymore. It's got a little repair that needs doing. There's a hole here, so I need to just repair that. And you know, it's too small really. This was Lilia's one, so she doesn't really fit in it anymore. And even if she did, she wouldn't really use it. So we had a chat, and because she's obviously wanting to get rid of stuff from her younger days and hold on to the stuff as she goes into adulthood really. So we agreed to pass this on. So originally I was going to frog it, but I don't think I'd ever use the yarn. So I think what I'm going to do, I think it would also take me an age to frog it and I would never get round to it. But I don't want it to go into landfill, obviously, it's plastic. So I'm going to make this repair, and I've got these, hang on, I bought these from eBay, I think, eBay or Etsy, I think it was eBay. And they're little tags that say handmade, little sew-in tags. And I've got these ones, which let whoever gets it next know that you can pop it in the machine. It's very easy to care for, so I'm going to sew that in here, and then I'll put a little tag on it to say, I don't know, handmade mermaid tail blanket, and give it to the charity shop. I think that's the best thing to do with it if we're not using it. And the yarn, you know, is obviously wearing and wouldn't do any good in another project. So I think I'll do that now rather than thinking about it and never getting around to it. Shoes. They're actually Lilia's. She saved up to buy herself these clumpy Mary Janes from oh, there you go, Koi Fit Footwear, but they're too big for her. She tried them on, they're about a size too big, so we're going to send them back. I don't know why they're on the box and not in the box, and she's going to get the next size down, but that's why I have shoes randomly behind me ready to be parcelled up. It is 1:30 and I thoroughly enjoyed sitting out doing a bit of sketching earlier. Well, I'm a bit low down, aren't I? So there we go. Yeah, so I didn't finish my drawing, but I did take a picture. I quite often do that. I take a picture before I even start sketching because A, it helps me with my composition, and B, it means that if the weather changes or if something happens or if I can't continue, I've got the image to refer to. It felt really weird doing it. I have lost my confidence, which I had spent quite a while building up, which is a shame. but I am going to continue to work on that picture and just make myself do it, even if I'm not happy with it. When I first got back into sketching, I was watching a class by Stephen Reddy on Craftsy. I've got his book as well. And he said that you shouldn't don't judge yourself, don't go into your drawing judging it before you've even done it, and always finish. And I could feel that kind of advice slipping away from me, so I need to grab hold of that again and do it. So I will finish that, and hopefully I'll be able to show the finished thing, hopefully, if I'm not too ashamed of it, you know, in this vlog. I'm gonna sit down after a busy morning and just spend 10 minutes working a little bit on my crochet blanket, because it's kind of on the home stretch now and I want to whiz through it. Oh, and this just fell out of my bag. This arrived a couple of days ago. It was in a rather battered envelope, so I've got a feeling it's been on quite a journey, but I just want to say thank you to Lynn, who sent me this gorgeous lobster tape measure. That's why it's in my bag, so I can keep track of how my sides are measuring up as I go. Oh, it's a magpie just landed on the chimney opposite. Good morning, Mr. Magpie, how's your lady wife? It's the only thing, I know I've said this a million times, it's the only thing I'm superstitious about. I get really happy when I see two together, because I'm like, oh, two for joy, I'm gonna have a good day. Yeah, queen of overthinking. Anyway, thank you, Lynn, for my lobster tape measure. That is so cool. You pull it out, and then when you're done, you press the button. I could just do that all day. Brilliant. I'll pop that there. Right, I'm going to get on with this, and then I'm going to slather myself in factor 50 before I go on the school run. It's about 23 degrees today, which is fine. I can cope with it. I had a really funny comment on, I think it was my podcast that I released yesterday, saying how they were in Australia. I think she said she was in Tasmania, and I was complaining about it being 32. And she was like, it's 32 in the winter here. I know I'm a British softie when it comes to heat. It's because I have Scottish parents. It's in my blood to prefer the cold. I've resisted as long as I can, but I can resist no more. I have to have these. I talked about these a couple of vlogs ago. Oh no, I dropped them. Oh, the green ones are my favourite. Oh, I shouldn't have put them in my mouth while I'm talking. Hang on a minute, I'm going to have to finish that now. I've just been looking at my almanac again, because it has tables for each month for daylight hours. So, for example, let me show you January. Let's go back to January to give you an idea. Because what these tables show you in a kind of visual way is daylight. So the white squares are daylight. The grey squares are twilight. Yeah, the grey squares are beginning and end of morning and evening twilight, and the black is night time. So that's January. So you can see the small amount of daylight squares in comparison to twilight and night time. And then this is for July, June for this month, with the summer solstice shown. So there's actually no night time shown, it's all the beginning and end of twilight, because we're so where we are on the revolution of the earth. That's how it is at the moment. You can see the summer solstice is marked, and then it'll be really hard to show you, but believe me when I tell you that the daylight does start to very gradually reduce. I think by the end of July it will have reduced by by the end of June, sorry, about 4 minutes. I might be wrong about that, but the evenings tend to keep getting a little bit lighter. It's the morning daylight that starts to draw in first. So twilight, for example, will end a little before 5 rather than as it currently is at 4:30. But evening twilight will begin, trying to make it out, just before 10. As opposed to now, which is a little further before 10. It's still really light in late at night at the moment. It isn't until July that you start to see that daylight. I don't know if it's going to be very obvious when I hold it up, but those daylight squares start to very gradually pinch in towards the end of July. It's a really lovely visual way of seeing how, I don't know, how the light works as we move around. It's one of the reasons why I love this almanac. I think this is my 4th year of getting it, because I find it such a comfort to see how that works throughout the year. There's a lot more to it than just that, but I think that's my most favourite bit. So I've just been sitting looking at that, and now I'm going to finish eating my Skittles, and then I'm off to get Phoebe from school. Somebody asked in the comments, don't eat another Skittle, someone asked in the comments about why we do the school run and we don't have school buses. Well, I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but I can tell you that here, we live like a less than 10-minute walk from the school. So there's no point in transport to get there. There are school buses for some of the secondary schools because they're big, and they can get public transport buses that run specifically for the schools, which cost money, or some of the schools put on buses for kids coming out of area. But generally, everyone that goes to the schools live within a good distance. Doesn't mean it's not busy with people driving their little angels right up to the doorstep, but that's a story for another day. But Phoebe's school is only 1 form entry, which means each class year, so reception, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, have got 30 or 32 students per class, and that's for the whole year. It's not really big enough to be able to afford to lay on transport. I think that's the reason, but I don't know, to be honest. Hi girl. How are you? Would you like to come out for a bit? Oh, I think that's a yes. You think that's a yes? Whoop, it's a bit wobbly. Back from the school run, but don't have, oh sorry, that was an extreme close-up. We are back from the school run, but we don't have Phoebe because she has gone to a friend's house around the corner to play a bit of football for a bit. So she'll be back in about an hour and a half. So I have got a ton of notes here, all about vlogs and podcast ideas. So I've got one of my brand new notebooks, and I'm going to go and put them all in one place so it's a little bit more together. That's what I'm going to go and do, and I'm going to go and sit outside in the shade to do it because I've just let the chickens out, so I'm going to sit out there and keep an eye on them. Hello.
Hello. I need more water before my next meeting.
I need to get some more water actually. I'm going to have squash. I'm going to have fizzy squash.
Ooh.
Hi girls. Always think I've got food. I have company. Hi girls. You come to see what I'm up to? Are you helping, Cloud? What are you doing? Oops. In they go. I'm just about to start preparing dinner. I'm doing a salmon thing for me and Dan that I did last week, but I can't quite remember what I did. Pretty sure there was cucumber and spring onions though, so I'm going to chop those whilst I'm talking to you. I've gone from feeling this morning very serene and meditative to kind of organised and productive throughout the day, and now I've gone into a kind of, I don't know, like a what's the point of anything kind of mood. You know, when you sort of catch yourself doing what you do in your day-to-day life, like your job or, I don't know, just what you do on a day-to-day basis. Vlogging. And you just catch yourself and you go, what am I doing? What's the point of this? Everything's so pointless. What am I doing? What a waste of time. Is that just me? I'm sure it's not. I'm sure. Usually when I say something where I'm like, oh my goodness, is this just me? Loads of people pipe up and go, it's not just you. Do you ever just get that? What's the point? Maybe I'll just sell the house and buy a van and travel round living off the land. Oh, now my memory card's run out of memory.
Gives you a lovely zing.
I'm glad you like it.
And the day is longer than the night. The day is long. The road ahead is clear and in the light is clear. Don't be late, my dear. Life won't wait. Fall